Hello and welcome to the United States for round 14 of the 2022 Formula Virtual World Championship. My name is Brad Dowd and I'm joined today by Harry Westwood.
Howdy y'all.
Today then the drivers are tackling 56 laps of this 4.023 kilometre Detroit street circuit for the first time in Formula Virtual history. It was Maximilian Thunstrom who won the United States V-Prix last year for Lucas, but that was at Indianapolis. What will happen here today? Let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship permutations then, because Matthershaw Porsche can wrap up that title today. They will be champions if they are not outscored by Downton by more than 2 points, and if they win the race and have their second car in the top 7, it is guaranteed. Let's take a look how they line up then, and it is Dutchman Klaas van Snelheid lining up on pole position. He's on the hard tyres though, front row alongside him Adrian Simon, he's on the softs, so keep an eye for that disparity off the line. Al Kanga starts from 3rd for Phoenix, Enrique Ruiz, championship leader, lines up in 4th. Matteo Zatici, the second of the Downtons, starts from 5th with Will Taylor, the second of the Phoenix cars, alongside him in 6th. Soft, medium and hard tyres in use amongst the top 6 on the grid, so it'll be interesting to see how those strategies play out. Felix Perez starts from 7th in first home race, James Vazquez alongside him on row 4. Finn Schneider is 9th for AMR, and he's got Thierry Zylander for company, Belgian, rounding out the top 10 for Highwind. John Matson lines up in 11th in the second of the Ingram cars. Stefan Klein a few places behind his teammate. He completes row 6. Alexander Zolia starts from 13th. Yukimi Takahashi is the lead Arrow driver. In 14th he starts on the mediums. Brock Kidd lines up for his home race in 15th, just ahead of his North Star teammate Johan Halverson, together on row 8. Puccio Giordano is 17th with Daniel Zientek alongside him. Second of the Highwind cars to pole, slightly disappointed not to be closer to his Belgian teammate. Nick Addison lines up 19th, a lot of work to do on that soft tyre in these tricky streets. Will he be able to overtake Hunter Ryan and completes top 20? Timo Kinnaman goes from 21st for Westwood. He's got Sergio Alvarez alongside him on row 11. And then in 23rd we've got Felix Bayer, full complement of 26 cars. Obviously Max Mayer lines up alongside him. He starts on the 12th row, and on the back row of the grid we've got Jules Barclay. And in last position for Meteor, Gianni Ledesma. So as we go down to the grid then, it's Klaas van Snelheid in pole position on the right, Adrian Simon alongside him on the front row. Don't forget, Van Snelheid on the hards, Simon on the softs. The lights go out now and we're racing in Detroit, and it's a terrible start from the poleman then on those hard tyres. Adrian Simon straight through into the lead. Ruiz follows him through into second as well. Both Matthershaw Porsches ahead of the poleman before turn 1 then. Klaas van Snelheid slips to 3rd, and that is absolutely what the Dutchman did not want at all. Simon and Ruiz will now be scampering off into the distance on those soft tyres surely, and they are already trying to make hay then. Van Snelheid is now P3 as we see there. That's Puccio Giordano, Hunter Ryan, looking up the inside of Daniel Zientek and goes through into 17th. Behind Klaas van Snelheid up front we've got Al Kanga, Will Taylor and Matteo Zatici completing the top 6.
Yeah, and I think what was crucial to that start then was you had it was really just an absolute nightmare for Downton, because obviously Zatici's gone backwards as well, as you said. They had that harder compound on, and obviously starting on the odd side of the grid that is actually on the dusty part of the track there. It's off the racing line going into turn 1, so they just had less grip all around, and it's really cost them here in this opening lap.
Yeah, it certainly didn't seem like there was any grip on those hard tyres off the line, and it certainly seems as though they're struggling to fire them up. Early days here in Detroit. It's obviously not particularly warm, only 16 degrees out there today, but Simon and Ruiz are already clearing off into the distance then. 1.2 seconds back to Klaas van Snelheid already.
Yeah, make that 1.5 as they come out of that twisty section there, and so notably though, some good starts include Schneider. I think he started he started 9th, so he's jumped up 2 places there. Very good stuff there from the Swiss, as we get a view of the back markers. But yeah, I think that might be the only other disastrous start by Halverson though. I'm pretty sure he started like 16th. He's gone down to 20th place.
Yes, exactly 16.
Yeah, see, my guesswork is sometimes pretty good. But yeah, so it's going to be crucial now that these Matthershaw guys don't trip over each other, they don't scrap away too much. They've got to build that buffer. Don't forget, it's likely they're going to be making 2 stops to Downton's none. Obviously, both teams on polar opposite ends of the strategy spectrum here. So they really need to work together on this one.
Yeah, what they'll be absolutely hoping to do, obviously with class on that hard tyre, as you say, they're polar opposites. They're going to be polar opposites in pace. Admittedly, the Downton is still, you know, the quickest car out there, bar the Mathershore, so they're not going to be able to absolutely scamper away, but they'll be hoping, surely, to open up a pit stop, if not over class, at least over some of the cars further back. You'd imagine that at least over Schneider within the first stint, so that they're not going to have many cars to overtake, because we're not entirely sure how difficult, or easy indeed, overtaking is going to be here. It's not the widest of circuits, nor are there any particularly long straights.
No, and obviously those walls are always ever inviting for drivers who make even a slight mistake, and especially getting frustrated in traffic. If it does prove to be difficult to overtake, then one lock-up as a car skips over a bump could spell the end of your race. We don't have the luxury of so much runoff here, or if you do, that runoff is involving a flick spin rather than just bringing the car back around. So I think, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if it is sort of easy enough to overtake. But as you say, they'll be looking to not take that risk in the first place.
Yeah, very much so. As we see there, then that's Sven Schneider leading the midfield back, already slipping back slightly from Matteo Zetici, but he's got Perez, Vasquez and Thierry Zylander right with him. What tyres are Schneider's on the hards as well, so that makes sense then, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, Perez on the mediums, obviously, as we can see. Vasquez on the softs, and then Zylander and Matson both on the hards, I think. I know Zylander is, but I haven't seen Matson. Matson dropped off this train, to be fair. He's just losing touch with it a little bit, so he'll be hoping he can reel himself back in, but also Ingram aren't really under threat from anyone for fourth place in the constructors anymore, so I can't imagine they'll be taking too many risks, put it that way.
No, absolutely.
The gap is... They're pulling out just over a second a lap. Well, Seymour is pulling out just over a second a lap on their class.
Yeah, so what 56 laps, so we thinking they'll be in, around lap 20-ish, give or take 10?
Yeah, true, to be fair. Yeah, obviously the optimum strategy would be lap 19, then on to 38, then on to 57, like, theoretically, if you were going any further. But, yeah, obviously we know that they don't always play out like that. They will definitely want to extend their first stint to get that pit stop back to obviously the Downton boys, and really just find a bit of clear air to slot into. But yeah, I would say you're probably right, opening up around lap 20-ish, up to about, say, lap 25, if we're being generous there with the pit window. But yeah, obviously, notably though, they've not really made a lot of time up on class, because the class has sort of seemingly been able to fire off his heart a little bit this lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, to be fair, we are on to lap 4 now here, as they head into the Goodyear tunnel there, which obviously has the massive Goodyear advertising on it, just to really give that away. I've just noticed a lot of this track has, you know, the straights have names, or the corners have names, so I'm going to try and use as many of them as possible. I've literally only just noticed looking at the track back, don't worry. We are obviously on to lap 5 now, so that the hard tyres will be starting to come into their sort of operating window now. So yeah, hopefully class will be hoping to not really drop too much more time now. Obviously, the Mathershore duo up front will be very much hoping the opposite.
Yeah, obviously they will still be probably pedal to the floor. Either that, or they'll be taking sort of, as we've seen Mathershore do a few times this season, a bit more of an endurance racing approach, where they sort of blast their fast laps early on. They sort of settle into kind of a rhythm after that, after they've kind of found out the pace of the car, what it can do, and then they just settle down and go from there, and just sort of play out their race the way that they're planning to. So we could be seeing another case of that here today from them, but they have to make up 2 pit stops, so they better know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, they've won however many races in their history. We're up to 52 now, I think, races they've won, so I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but did they win the last 2 races in 2015?
I mean, no, they didn't, but that's incredibly niche.
Yeah, well, you know, they were both very different races. One had less cars than the other. That's not true at all. Who are we looking at then?
Well, I was just going to cover the championship situation, so.
That's a great idea.
While we're just sort of watching some of the midfielders, obviously we get this in the early stages of the race, you know, we don't get an awful lot of action. Drivers' Championship cannot be won today, however, Adrian Simon could be knocked out of contention. He's currently 44 points behind, did we say it was?
Yes.
So, yeah, so Simon cannot afford to lose more than 6 points to his teammate. In fact, I don't think he can afford to lose 6 points to his teammate, because he can't afford to lose more than 5, because even if they were to tie at the end of the year, Ruiz has way more race wins. Simon can't afford to lose more than 5 points to his teammate here today. Obviously, at the moment he's ahead, so that doesn't matter. But if he does, he will be knocked out of contention. The bigger one is the Constructors' Championship. Matthew Shaw could very well wrap that up today. The gap is currently. That's a good question, because I don't actually have the current gap.
You said
it's 88 points. And they need to have 86 after this race. So as long as they don't lose more than 2 points to Downton, they are going to be the Constructors' Champions and end Downton's 3-year reign.
Yeah, obviously only the second time in the sport we've had a 3-year championship reign, I think. Obviously we had Franklin from 13, 14, 15, and now you've done it.
There's so much discontempt in your voice about that.
I don't know.
Now you've done it. But yes, obviously Matthew Shaw can do that today. They need to end this race essentially with an 86-point gap over Downton. As it stands, if the checkered flag were to drop now, they would have a 108-point gap. So they would do it comfortably as we run. Yes,
yeah, definitely. Obviously, while they can secure it today, it obviously touch wood and sort of, barring any exceptional circumstances. So Rob, I've already said all the bits and bobs. So if something happens, it's not my fault. But they do look pretty much on course to wrap it all up within the next 2 anyway. It would take nothing short of a miracle really for Downton to fight their way back into the constructors.
Oh, bless you! You really are trying everything for me, aren't you?
I thought
you're really laying these commentator curses on.
Look, man, I got no skin in this game at all. Like I'm well off, so I can just say shit and hope it happens and get excited when it does. I live for the thrill, Bradley, and the thrill of my choosing today is risking 2 of my closest friends' championship hopes.
Yes, well, we'll see how those play out, won't we? Interestingly, just looking at the front runners there, Klaas van Snel are now 5 seconds back from Ruiz, so it doesn't seem as though he's losing as much time now as he was at the start of the race. Obviously, we covered a couple of laps ago, his tyres will have warmed up a bit now and he'll be more in the operating window. But Alar Kanga behind him on the mediums has fallen 3.5 seconds back, which is surprising me somewhat, because Phoenix have been pretty much there on pace, and with Kanga on a softer tyre compound than Klaas, I'd have very much expected him to be sticking with the Dutchman.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting observation, but I think if you look at the way that the tyre pace is, I suppose even then he's not on soft, is he? He's on the mediums. Yeah, very odd stuff there for Kanga. If anything, it looks like Taylor's the one that's sort of keeping him more under pressure. He's not really losing heaps of time. Interesting to see how that one develops. Maybe there's a chance the mediums could be going through perhaps a grading phase or something like that. Yeah, odd that you see Kanga a bit off the boil in a race situation.
Yeah, very much is so. But as I say, we'll keep an eye on that and see how that develops then as we follow James Vazquez. Still running in 9th, tucked up behind Felix Perez then. And there we cut to Will Taylor leading Matteo Zatici. So Taylor, who jumped Zatici off the line then, went up from 6th to 5th, while Zatici unsurprisingly went the other way.
Just done.
Sucked his thumb, did you just say?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't know about. I wasn't really watching Zatici. I was watching the front row, but I think maybe Klaas was sucking his thumb. He totally missed the lights. But
they both did. It's a little trick that they tried to pull. But I saw just off the start, they both flipped their helmet visor up, jammed their thumbs sort of in and down because of the weird angle. Just gonna stop there before I make it sound too sexual.
yeah, I was gonna. That was sounding a little bit odd as we go on board with Zatici. Then obviously both him and Taylor running on the hard tyres, so he won't be particularly enjoying this at the moment. Obviously, looks fairly difficult for him to try and find his way through, but you sense there's more pace in that Downton because Klaas van Snelheid is now some 6-7 seconds up the road from him.
With change, yeah. In fact, no, that's pretty much spot on. But never mind. I looked at the wrong gap. Doesn't matter. Yeah, and obviously as well, where we wouldn't expect under normal racing conditions, the hard tyres to be making us stop this race. This is going to be an overtake he's going to have to make on track with no tyre differential. And we've seen, even with a pace differential in the car, that is a very difficult thing to do. And obviously, this is a street circuit, so even more so. But there's going to be no way, really, that strategy can help him out, unless the only way I can think of is with Simon Ruiz coming back through, he somehow makes enough tuning out of that. But
yeah, kind of like trying to follow one of them through, if indeed they end up behind them.
Yeah, I mean, they are dropping hideous amount of time, really. You think Klaas is 6 seconds, well, call it, that's just under 8 seconds off of the lead.
Yeah.
And then you think his teammates are further, 7 seconds off of him? That's already a 15-second gap to the leaders.
Absolutely, and that's in just 10 laps. And we don't really know yet how much time they're going to lose in the pit lane here.
True.
Thankfully, it's not going to be as bad as we feared when we turned up, when they had issues implementing the pit lane speed limiter, which meant obviously the drivers were flying through at full speed. Thankfully, that has been sorted.
Yeah,
otherwise, that would have been a very short pit time.
Yeah, it would have been a bit upsetting to watch as well, I think. I don't think that would have been enjoyable.
No, it certainly would have been slightly terrifying, especially if you were one of the people stood in the pit lane.
Yeah, you think if you're coming up to the pit window, your driver's speeded in at like 150 miles an hour instead of the usual like 60, that's nearly threefold. So
yes.
Yeah, terrifying stuff.
I think if I'd have been one of the pit crew, I'd have gone the other side of the garage.
I've probably just outfitted my my pit guys with some brown overalls this weekend instead of the normal blue and white.
Yes, very much so.
Let's see. So, looking at any battles up and down the field.
Bayer's 11 seconds off Alvarez. Sorry, I've just noticed that one.
Oh.
Because that seemed like a really big gap.
That is.
Bayer. But Bayer's in a Meteor and is on hard tyres, so that's why.
Well, poor old Mayer and Barkley, they're on mediums and softs respectively, so they're in for a long afternoon.
Long? I mean, crikey.
Yeah. Don't know what Alvarez is on, but I know Kinnaman's on the hards. I think Halverson's on the hards as well, but he's sort of in his own little world right now. It's weird, he had that, like, he did a decent job in qualifying to be right up with his teammate for the first time in, I think, 2022. But, no, but in all seriousness, he did put in a good performance, especially where kids, obviously, it is a home race and definitely going to be finding, like,
oh god, of course, I forgot it was kids' home race.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you say home race, it's almost like distance-wise could be the equivalent of holding a race in Germany and calling that like a Swiss driver's home race or something. Obviously, America's huge, but the point's like, you know, it's still kind of a home race.
It's the same country.
Kid from.
I am literally just checking that now.
Go pull it up. I bet it's going to be from like California or something.
Rock Kid, born United States.
Okay. Guess we'll never know. Nobody thought that was interesting enough to write down.
We'll ask him at some point.
No, I'm confident he's from California. Like I said, look at him. He's got that kind of vibe.
I'm not going to ask what kind of vibe that is. We'll leave that one there.
Liberal stuff, dude. But yeah, no. Then obviously Kidd's gone forward in the race. He's made up 3 places from the start. Halverson's gone backwards and just really kept going that way. He's not really looked on it in terms of pace at all.
No, but I mean that's been the story of his season, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, true. But that's why he's moving to a slightly different drive next year. He's off to Maserati.
Maserati? Yeah.
Maserati, yeah. He's partnering Matson, which I think could be quite good.
Hoskins.
Who's Matson driving with?
SRT.
Oh, and Farini, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. I mix them up all the time. Pretty easy. Yeah. So, ignore me. So, yeah, he's pairing up Hoskins. Oh, yeah, I remember now, because it's H&H, Halverson and Hoskins.
Yeah, that's it.
Gotta say, 2 drivers I think that are in a bit of like a last chance saloon situation. If don't know if you agree, but they've both been. Obviously, Halverson's stock has been massively lowered this season. And
lowered is through the floor at this point.
Yeah.
Crikey.
It's like one of those Bugs Bunny cartoons where he drops an anvil on the floor and it just creates a hole in the floor, and he holds up the little sign that says "Help me."
Absolutely.
Before he falls through.
Halverson's stock this season has crashed quicker than the UK economy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't blame that one on our 45-day Prime Minister. Oh, what a joke! But we'll leave that out of the race talk.
Yeah, it was just too good a joke not to make.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And obviously Hoskins as well. His stock has been on a downturn for a little while, and bear in mind he was barely rescued for a drive for 2022, only for that drive to just vanish. Before halfway through the season, I think it was.
Well,
a big shame. Yeah, so obviously he'll be a bit rusty that way as well. So all points towards really Hoskins having his work cut out for him in 2023. And if he can't make the cut, I really do reckon he might just hang up his gloves or just not get picked up again. Whether he hangs the gloves up out of choice or not is a different matter, but
yeah, it'll certainly be an interesting one to keep an eye on there. But as you point out, you know, they have both somewhat struggled in their last competitive seasons, so it's going to be quite difficult to really gauge how they're going, in all honesty.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one bonus that we can rely on them to provide for the teams they're moving to, well, the team they're moving to, I should say, is they do have that wealth of experience.
Yeah.
Which will help them in some ways, but also, you know, is it worth it in terms of missing out on that performance that you could have had from, you know, the likes of, I think, well, I could name half a dozen drivers, but I'm going to choose not to because that's my brain definitely good. But yeah, no, they can bring that experience, but as you say, they don't really count as a benchmark to each other if they're off form. So it'd be strange to see how well they do, or how, because they could just both smash all the other sort of new team drivers. Well,
they could, but yeah, we'll have to see how that unfolds. Just something I've noticed actually, and I noticed this during qualifying yesterday, and it seems to very much be happening here today as well, as Sven Schneider now slips 10 seconds back from Matteo Zatici. The gaps here in Detroit have been, I don't quite know the word I'm looking for.
Seconds off of
yeah, like they've been multiplied, it almost seems. From previous races that we've seen. Obviously, you know, in other races we've seen this season, the field's been relatively close. But here, I think it was only like the top 12 drivers or something that were within the 102% time. Obviously, that doesn't matter at the moment. Every driver is qualified for a race before, so they all made the grid. But the gaps have been huge between different teams, and we're seeing that in the race here. I mean, look, you know, Simon's 2.5 seconds clear of his teammate. Klaas van Snelheid is now 9 seconds back from Rees, with Kanga another nearly 8 seconds back from him. The gap between Zatici and Schneider's up to nearly 11 seconds. The gaps are really, really big here in Detroit. And
Max is
It's
10
it's
seconds
just
off the
odd
dial.
compared to exactly. It's just odd compared to what we've seen so far this season. I don't know if it's because it's a street circuit, and so the sort of like the better cars are showing even more, giving the drivers more confidence, which is just allowing them to extract that bit more pace. I don't know, but it's not something we've seen this year.
You say that though, but the Ingram is you cannot argue against this. It is a faster car than the Highwind, and yet on the same tyres, Matson is 10 seconds off the Zylander, who is actually in a queue behind drivers on faster tyres.
Wow, this is very true.
You know, it's interesting that I reckon, if anything, it may be more down to the driver making. Whoa, that's a huge gap now. Wait, did I miss that go up then? Was Seymour always about 7 seconds ahead of Ruiz?
Oh, no he wasn't. No he wasn't. That was about 2.5 seconds. Yeah, you're quite right. Something's happened to Ruiz then.
I wonder if he's just pumped the wall a little bit somewhere, but I just do think it might be the driver making the difference here. I mean, classic example, Taylor is on harder tyres than his teammate in equal machinery, and yet is really keeping pace with Kenga, who should be pulling away and has been considered to be more consistent of the two. You look at Schneider compared to Zazolia, you look at Kidd compared to Halverson. It's you could even say Bayer compared to Ledesma. He's got nearly a 10-second lead back to his own teammate.
Oh wow, Ledesma's nearly 8 seconds off of anyone else.
Yeah, that's a sad afternoon there for the Italian. But you know, at least he's still going. He's doing his best. I really want to see what happens to Ruiz, although he's now just gained 2 seconds back on Seymour.
But Klaas has gone with him.
Who's Klaas? Klaas is behind a Meteor. He's lapping someone.
Oh, is that it? I wonder if that's it. I wonder if they're losing time lapping the back markers, because obviously there's no blue flags. They've caught that's how spread out the field is. They've caught the back of the field already.
18 laps, equal tyres for this one. This is the important one. Obviously the soft tyres in front, yeah, sure. But these guys are on equal tyres, Bradley. That is insane to me.
This is going to be huge then. The back markers could play a massive role in the outcome of today's race.
Really caught up in traffic now, and yeah, do you know what? We saw it in Adelaide. I think, yeah, you're right. We're going to see here. Yeah, Simon's just hemorrhaging time here. Look at that. So
well, yeah, because Simon will be in the Bayer Mayer. I like the Bayer Mayer. Bayer Mayer Markley. No, see, I did the Markley. Bayer Mayer Barkley, little train of cars. Yeah, and Ruiz now only just over a second back from him.
Look at that. That's Kanga looming in the distance. He's gained 3 seconds on Klaas already.
Well, this is going to be very interesting indeed, isn't it? Especially when
right in the middle of it. Sorry.
Especially when the Mathershal's pit.
Yeah.
If they're going to have to come through not only the front runners, but yeah, the back markers as well. This is, as there we see now, Adrian Simon. So Simon has cleared Barkley as he heads through the Goodyear tunnel, but yeah, tucked up right behind Sergio Alvarez. No, sorry, Max Meyer. And then he's got Bayer to get through as well. Then he's got some clear air.
Well, we saw even at like not a street circuit how tough it was to lap at the likes of South Africa and Kailani. So I reckon is going to be the single most important factor of the race, is how well drivers get through traffic, because it looks like Ruiz has done a better job dispatching that westward immediately. And now it's suddenly everything's changed. Klaas is actually fallen further behind, I think, while Ruiz looks poised to take the lead from his teammate.
Absolutely, but I mean, Klaas has fallen further behind because he's stuck behind Ledesma, who is, as we've already pointed out, much slower than everyone else at the moment.
I suppose when you look at the lap traffic, that is another point, is that while Klaas will catch that lap traffic slower, at least these soft guys, when they come back around, they're going to have a tyre advantage in terms of like softness and freshness. They're not going to have that equal tyre situation. How much easier is that going to make their lives going back through traffic?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have to say, I'm not sure this is... I was slightly worried that this wasn't going to be a particularly exciting race. I think now that the back markers are part of it, this could be thrilling.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think anyone actually could have predicted this either. I don't think this was in anyone's game plan.
Who anticipated that Meteor could be the deciding factor in today's race?
Oh, it's like Latifi all over again. Here he goes up the inside to Simon, and he puts that lap on Meyer. Is Ruiz going to follow through? No, Meyer closes the door. Very polite there from the South African. Oh, Klaas is jammed. There's Kanga jammed up behind him. Yikes. That could be a close one. Oh man, Ruiz is going to start losing time. Well, I suppose not, because then we've got who have we got in front of Meyer? Bayer, that's the one. that should be even easier to pass, but as you see, Ruiz looking for what he's doing there is just finding all kinds of different lines, especially where this is like a street circuit. The effect of any dirty air, any turbulent air is really felt more so than you would on sort of like an open circuit. So it does just make your life a lot harder. And what we're seeing Ruiz do there is just try and get some of that clean air onto his front wing to get some grip on the front of his car, get it to bite and turn in. Because if you just sit under the gearbox of another car, then you just start losing so much grip. Obviously, less this season than we would have done in previous years due to the lower ride height, meaning you can get a lot more downforce off of the floor and from the diffuser. But you know, there's still a lot of downforce lost from those wing elements on the car.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, they're going to be even more crucial at this kind of circuit. You know, so heavily dependent on downforce. Yeah, they're struggling to at this moment. That's
oh, there we go. Ruiz is up the inside there of that was Meyer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so he puts the lap on. Oh, so we've got a move now up the inside. That is Will Taylor going past Alar Kanga there through into turn 1. So Alar Kanga there, we mentioned he was looking a bit off the boil earlier. He's actually now ceded position to
They've caught Klaas. That's why they've caught Klaas van Snelheid and Gianni Ledesma, which is a phrase I never thought I'd say, to be honest. But yeah, that's why then. So Klaas van Snelheid has now got Will Taylor, Alar Kanga, and Matteo Zatici right behind him, and Finn Schneider's now closing that gap as well. They need to dispatch Ledesma.
Yeah, this is a desperate situation here. Here we go then, Klaas making that desperate move up the inside.
Finally.
A lot of overtakes there. It's a good pass, and crucially, the Mathishals have still not passed the Meteor that they're behind, the Bayer, that's the one. So now, Klaas is going to make back that time, and do you know what? We could actually see the Mathishals, if they pit soon, which we expect them to, they're inside their pit window now. Well, there we go. They both peel into the pits then at the end of lap 21. Let's see where Simon comes out in relation to someone else, and we can get a bit of an idea of a pit delta.
Oh, Ruiz seemed to lose a little bit of time there.
Yeah, he had to sort of slam on the anchors a bit. Because looks like a clean stop from
They're going to be behind that train. Yeah. They're going to be behind that entire train that are stuck behind Gianni Ledesma.
Oh, Speechy up the inside. Yeah. Oh, wow. That was an incredible move, and here we go. They emerge from the pit. Exactly right. They've got to catch up to that train. So that was what? That's a 4, 5, 8. So it's about 18 to 20 second pit delta, I would say, around here.
I forgot to watch the actual pit number.
No worries. I thought since we don't have the benefit of Rob this time, I'd see if I could try my hand at it. But I will say for making extra stops, that's not really a huge delta. That's not really a massive amount to overcome.
No, look, they're already on the back of Kanga.
Now, case in point, the only thing you have to watch out for now is attacks from behind, because they're very much going to get stuck here.
Look at how quickly Klaas has pulled away from Taylor. He's 6 seconds up the road.
Oh my goodness.
That's in what, a lap?
That's got to put Klaas, what though? Oh, Bayer's 20 seconds behind Alvarez. Jesus Christ.
But, okay, so Klaas is very quickly going to catch Barkley, but Barkley will get out of the way because he's going to have to pit.
Klaas is going to be past Barkley already, Bradley.
No, he's not. He won't have caught him yet. Ledesma's 12 seconds behind Barkley. Klaas is only 8 clear of Taylor.
Oh, of course. I thought he'd gone past Bayer. I was getting my meteors mixed up. I'm so used
Yeah.
to not having run. Satichi up the inside
Whoa.
again.
And
He's
behind him, Simon on Kanga.
Follows him through. Yeah, so a good move there from the Frenchman. He's taking some notes there from the young Italian. Oh, he's gone up the inside again.
Is that? Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think he's done it. Adrian Simon is not hanging around here.
No, and usually it's his teammate that's the more aggressive one, but again, we've talked about Simon being back on the boil for the last part of this season as we've got some stragglers into the pits here at the
Yeah, I was just going to note, Vasquez made his stop and lost 19.4 seconds in the pits then. As Zatici looking up the inside there of Ledesma, but can't get that one done. Nick Addison has also made his stop on the soft tyres, and 19.2 for Addison, so... Oh, as that's Ruiz up the inside of Al Arcanga then, and Ruiz goes back up into fifth.
This tyre differential, Bradley, I've got to say, it looks extremely powerful here today.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I mean, this is looking very good for Mathershaw, you have to say.
Although, they're 12 seconds behind Class, you know, that's a huge gap to put to over.
So, hang on.
Although Class is going to catch up to other traffic.
Well, yeah, so Class will now be on the back of Jules Barkley, won't he? Looking at the time.
Yes, yeah.
What that means is that Klaas van Snelheid is 6 seconds a lap quicker than Gianni Ledesma.
That's depressing.
If Klaas can clear...
We might see a move here, Bradley. We've got Seymour up the inside of Zatici there. Makes his stick nice.
And behind Ruiz has done Taylor.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is really good racing, actually. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, they are flying, aren't they? The Mathershaw Porsches. And always Ruiz thinks about sticking his nose up the inside of Matteo Zatici at turn 3-ish.
Something like that. Yeah, go for that.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah. So, oh man, I was just going to say I really wouldn't mind coming back here next year, but unfortunately we've been announced to be going somewhere else. But I might start a petition for a second US V-Prix at this point.
I was going to say, let's go to America. Great. We can have a United States V-Prix and an American V-Prix. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's up the inside. We've got Ruiz going past Zatici there, so we're a very late mover at the end of braking. He's got that confidence, just pulls it off. As we've got Alvarez in the pits. Alvarez is on mediums.
Is he?
Oh, he might be on the softs.
Yeah, no, Alvarez was on the softs.
You're telling me he's only just made it around to the end of lap 23?
I mean, given how spread out the field is, it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
True. Oh yeah, there goes Barkley as well. Oh man. Oh dear. True, that is important though for Klaas, because that clears 2 drivers out of his way.
No, Alvarez has come out ahead of Bayer. And he's still... So I think at this point, Klaas van Snelheid will be behind Max Meyer. Whoa!
Ruiz just going to cut across you there, Brad. Oh, what a move! Never mind, Ruiz sends it back! Oh.
This is exceptional race. Right, can we...
Oh, he nearly gets his nose chopped off though by his teammate.
Yeah, we just need to take into a... You know, I can't even fathom words at this point in time. What these drivers are doing is exceptional. They are threading their cars between some relatively narrow walls here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Ruiz got
absolutely
up under braking there.
You know, they are battling one another incredibly hard, performing exceptional overtakes, and none of them, touch wood, at the moment, are coming together. Additionally, they're overtaking one another left, right, and centre. Gianni Ledesma still defending from a lot of them.
Yeah, I think he's the real MVP. He's single-handedly keeping the championship fight alive.
He absolutely is. Ledesma doing a solid for Klaas van Snelheid at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to wonder how he's been able to stay in front for so long, but nonetheless, it's an impressive display. Although he's looking a lot.
Yeah, Simon looks very close now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
as they come through. I think so. That's the Ford corner. That little, not that one. The chicane, but the right left beforehand. That chicane doesn't have a name. It's just turn 18.
Does clear.
Yep.
Ledesma there, as we expected. Ruiz might pull off another cheeky inside move here.
Into 2.
Thought about it, but decided not to. No, he's going to have to sit behind Ledesma for a little while. Let's see what kind of pace Simon has to catch. Whoa, a second out of class straight away. Okay.
And 2 seconds over his teammate.
Oh my god, this is... Man, these back markers are really throwing a spanner in the works for these guys. And this is where I think having those softer tyres to be able to come faster and easier, it has been beneficial. Not as much so for Ruiz, but I think when he clears Ledesma, then suddenly, it's weird, I keep going to look for the timing screen for who he's passing, then I remember he's lapping someone, it's not the position. But yeah, obviously we can see here Klaas is struggling for grip. He's still behind these guys.
Yeah.
As the pit window for the mediums, by the way, is set to open in 2 to 4 laps. We would expect him in between lap 28 and lap 32, I would say.
Look at that. Simon's already 5.5 seconds clear of his teammate.
It's just ridiculous. It's just insane how much pace there is to be unlocked when you're not behind a back marker. I mean, he's taken 4 seconds out of Klaas that lap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we can confirm in a way that Lopez on the mediums is a second faster a lap than... Oh! Ruiz thought about it. I don't know why he didn't go for that, because that's going to make... That's kind of just throwing his race away now.
Yeah, he's certainly... The back markers had helped him close up, hadn't they, initially, and he's... Yeah, now he's really blowing this, but... Yeah, Simon absolutely romping up to the back of Klaas Van Snelheid now.
Oh yeah, and crucially, Klaas isn't, if he hasn't passed Alvarez yet, or whoever he is now.
It's Mayer, I think he's got to tackle first.
If he doesn't pass Mayer soon, he's not going to have someone in between. Oh, we got the 2 Phoenixes going wheel to wheel in the middle sector there.
Not only that, I've just noticed Schneider and co have caught them. This is a train now from 3rd. All the way down to, I mean, okay, Matson's going to be with them soon enough. It's then going to be all the way down to Giordano in 16.
Oh my god, this is such a mess. Oh god, and what happens then when the leaders come around to that train? That's going to be a disaster.
We could literally have every car in this field stacked up behind Ledesma.
That would be a genuinely a 24.0 there is the fastest lap of Simon, as you say, is really chasing down Klaas now. And here we go, Ruiz has to make this move. Look at the length of that train just snaking through in the back. Again, he doesn't go for the move.
The length of that train is ridiculous.
I think, you know, maybe going back to Indianapolis next season might be alright. Based on, but as you say, we've never seen performance gaps this big, really. I wouldn't say.
No.
First car being lapped 18 laps in by someone on the same tyre, that is, as well. Oh, up the inside goes to Ticci.
That's Klaas. That's Klaas Van Snelheid on Max Mayer. That is crucial then, because Simon has just caught the race leader, but Van Snelheid goes through on Max Mayer and puts a car between himself and his rival.
Yeah, I think getting that flash of red in his mirrors has given him a bit of a hurry up there, and he's decided to get on with it and make that move. Still has another one to clear though, and Seymour has been having an easier time of passing cars than Klaas has, so let's see how this one plays out.
Look at the gap!
Yeah, that is insane. They've already nearly got a pit stop over Ruiz.
Well,
also,
it wasn't that gap I was on about, it was the one between Klaas and Mayer. Somehow he seems to be pushing Bayer onwards. And I
think he's going to make this move here.
I think he might. No, he doesn't. And nor does Simon, though.
Yeah, so weird that we're now seeing a bit of hesitant sort of driving from these guys when sort of going to the inside. They know that they can do it.
That train is ridiculous.
Oh,
Satici!
At the inside of Ruiz. Ruiz is going to try and hold it around the outside, though. Nothing doing.
No, as soon as Zatici had his nose down the inside there, it was, I mean, that was game over for Ruiz, and Matteo Zatici goes back through and into 3rd, and this is turning into a bit of a disaster, really, for Ruiz's race. Don't forget, he still has to make another pit stop, and now he's got 14 cars behind him, like, immediately behind him.
It's not looking good for the Brazilian. He's not had that kind of, that decisive instinct, I guess is the best way to put it, that his teammates had today, and it's really, really hurting him. But
how many of those cars behind him are on the hards? Because that's going to be the sort of the real crucial thing here, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So obviously, if we look at,
Because I'm seeing quite a lot of yellow and red in that train, so a lot of cars are also going to pit. But obviously, those on mediums are going to pit and probably come out in relatively clear air, you'd imagine, which will just allow them to romp back up to the rear of that train, which means when the soft tyre runners pit, they're going to be behind them.
oh, there goes Simon at the inside. He does make that move. So Klaas now has to make this move on
Bayer.
Otherwise, he's not. Yeah, well, never mind. Doesn't matter. He's already got Simon for company. But yeah, no. I didn't know someone's going to go for a move there. I don't know what to expect anytime we go into a braking zone now.
Right. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how ridiculous this is? In both situations, we have a Meteor leading a Downton, leading a Mathershore.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that? The team that only qualified for their first race in Belgium. What's wrong with that? No, it was Italy before Belgium, wasn't it?
No, it was Belgium. Yeah, it was in the wet of Belgium that Bayer first made the grid.
Oh yeah, and then they made the grid for real in the dry months. I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is something else. But really, I find it interesting because obviously we say that Ledesma's defending and obviously Bayer's defending, blah 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 blah. But they're kind of not.
No, they're just driving the
They're
lines.
not having to deviate from the line at all. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we're seeing this.
Zylander's just made a move.
He's.
Yeah, I think he's passed Perez. No, I think Zylander's passed Perez. I've just seen him move up the order. And there was a brief gap between Schneider and Zylander that obviously he's now closed immediately back down.
He might have been repassing Perez, but he's been in 8th since last I checked after the first round of pit stops. That's when he was in 8th. So clearly just some great battling going on in that queue no matter where you are and who you are and what you're driving. It doesn't matter because you can't get past the Meteor.
This is how are they all struggling to get past Ledesma?
Whoa, Taylor, nearly sticking his nose.
That was late.
There. Yeah, and it was almost.
It was nearly a day late and $1 short.
Yeah, almost.
We've not had one of those in a while.
No, all Klaas.
Oh, Bayer. Yeah, I thought Bayer was wide enough there that Klaas was going to be able to nip down the inside, but it didn't happen for the Dutchman on the Dutchman.
Bayer does defend here. Okay, so I take it back. Now that he has to, Bayer is... See now, this isn't the plan that I think you mentioned earlier.
No, it's not. I was rather hoping, I'm not going to lie, but I was rather hoping that Bayer, also being Dutch, would rather move out of Klaas's way fairly swiftly. Unfortunately, he appears to have forgotten his nationality.
Or maybe...
Or doesn't care for it.
Is a teaching because the team's Italian. Yeah?
Well, yes. But then Ledesma hasn't let Zatici by either.
That's true. Oh, that's Zylander scrapping. No, it's not. Zientek scrapping away with Giordano. Giordano passes the pole.
No, there's still wheel to wheel. Zientek's got it.
Zientek pulls it back. But it's the first time we've seen some scrapping of that part of it. Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is on an onboard with Adrian Simon. Oh, Simon went to the inside of Klaas van Snelheid then. So is Van Snelheid going to come back at him at turn 2?
Oh.
Oh no, Simon is through.
He's just got the lead. I thought. What?
Yes. So we must have missed that while watching Zientek.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if Simon can put the moves on Bayer quickly enough here, then it might just be game over for Klaas's race.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Bayer has what, a 28-second gap in front of him now, clear air. Whoever gets through first, if they can work out a sizable gap, is again Zatici's having a little look at the inside. He's just shown himself in the mirrors there. But I think that's what's prompting Bayer to defend. Yeah, again, here we go to the inside.
That one's Ledesma.
That one's Ledesma.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I had said Ledesma, but okay. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Yeah, Ledesma is, I think where he's...
Oh, I think Kidd's just passed Clean. Yeah, Brock Kidd's just gone back up to 11th.
Oh, very nice. Good stuff from him. That's, to be fair, that is a good move moving up the... What?
Oh, Van
Snelheid
back on the inside of Adrian Simon. How
How is it they can overtake one another but not a meteor?
Make it make sense. Just make it make sense.
I want that meteor checked after this race to make sure it's not too wide.
He's making an important move here, Bradley.
Oh, he is.
And Ruiz gets overtaken at the worst time. He goes behind Taylor. So now Ruiz has got past 2 cars. Zatici's surely going to rocket off into the distance here.
Yeah, Zatici will, as you say... Yeah, they're starting to scrap, aren't they, amongst themselves here now. But, yeah, Zatici will absolutely surely rocket away from Will Taylor and up to the back of...
Oh, wait, we watched that happen. Sorry, carry on.
No, we didn't. We watched Zatici do Ruiz. I don't think we saw Klaas take Simon back.
Yeah, we did, because then you made the joke about how they still can't pass a meteor, but not each other.
Oh, yes, good point.
It's so hard to remember who
It's crazy. All we know is that no one's passing meteors, apart from Zatici, who's just done it.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Now then, if Klaas, now it's sort of a role reversal. If Klaas can make this work again, this is going to be really good for his race. It's really going to be about whoever clears Bayer first.
Yeah, and what we need to bear in mind as well.
Passing through again, Simon's up the inside.
That's mad, isn't it?
Just do that, but on the guy in front of you now. Ooh,
they're so focused on one another. I think that's the issue. As Zatici's already taken 3 seconds out of this lot.
Oh, Kanga in the pits, so medium-tired runners should be coming in the pits this lap or next.
Wow, okay, yeah, so that's interesting. So I was just going to mention this. Don't forget as well, Simon and Ruiz, both, you know, all those on the soft tyres, are going to be back in the pits again in about 8 laps' time for their second stop.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that they can make this work is they're going to need, what, like, about a 20-second gap, call it 23 to be safe.
Yeah, well, I mean...
back through any traffic, so he really needs to pass now and get the hammer down. He really needs to start pushing because he's got enough pace differential to do it if he passes now.
Absolutely. Crucially for Simon, even if he were to remain as he is, as long as Taylor doesn't pass Ledesma, he's going to come out in third, and he's only going to have 2 Downtons in front of him. Ruiz, however, is going to be in a whole world of pain at this point.
Yeah, Ruiz...
he's going to have half the field ahead of him.
He could be in danger of not even scoring in the top 5 or the top 6. That's how bad this looks right now.
Well, yeah, look at Kanga's come out in 20th.
Yeah, that could be a huge blow. As here we go, Simon up the inside. Yes, he gets that move done then. And so now he's got his mission on his hands to really stretch that gap. Klaas, you'd imagine, is going to be stuck for at least another half a lap.
I mean, he's been there most of the race.
Yeah, true. But maybe now he's seen how someone else overtakes a meteor. He can do it.
Well,
I don't know. I like to be hopeful.
Yes, we'll see. As into the pits comes, that's Felix Perez also on the mediums then. So yeah, I think we're starting to see the medium tire runners in dribs and drabs.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, just getting their pit stops done, like trying to get some clear air. I guess it's the only thing maybe that can.
Yeah, so I definitely think at this point the undercut is going to be really powerful. I mean, Kanga came out 3 seconds behind Addison and he was on him immediately. Perez came out 7 seconds back. He's already taken a second in about 2 corners. So I mean, interestingly, there's a gap. I mean, obviously Taylor's running behind Ledesma, and that all runs all the way back to Ryan in 16th. Then there's a 4-second gap back to Halverson. I mean, what's going on there? How is Johan Halverson slower than Gianni Ledesma?
He's just having a bad day. I mean, to be fair, we talked about how he was off the pace today, and
yeah, but I mean, that's not off the pace. That's catastrophic.
Probably why he's not been picked to stay there. 23. Yeah, that is pretty shocking from the Dane there. That, I mean, we've seen, as I say, some poor performances this year, but that might just take the cake for.
Although he is starting to close that gap now. Actually, it's down to 3 seconds. So maybe Halverson's got a live commentary feed and he's realised we're taking the mick out of him.
He's started crying and he's just like gritting his teeth, like, "I'll show them."
Exactly that. Interestingly, up front, Adrian Simon's now 7.5, nearly 8 seconds clear as a lot more runners dive into the pit lane then.
Yeah, so I think crucially though, Kid and Giordano, they're going to get held. Yeah, Kid gets held massively.
Oh, that's
Giordano
a
gets helped massively.
disaster.
That's, yeah, really, really going to be upsetting there for the team. Look at how far back they've come out as well. Obviously,
Yeah, but I mean, they'll close that gap down pretty. I mean, Perez has closed 6 seconds to 2 in a lap.
Yeah, I just mean in terms of numbers where they are, Bradley, not sort of like.
Oh,
time.
position.
Yes, like,
Got ya.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they can make the time up, but nobody's overtaking anyone this
Well,
way.
that's not true.
So
We've
they're gonna
seen
be
seen lots of people overtaking lots of people. Just none of them are overtakes on Meteor.
It's never in the right place at the right time.
It's,
I'll tell you what, by the way, Seymour is doing everything right at the moment to pull out that massive gap. He's really made the most of this opportunity. He's just scurrying away.
Yeah, Simon is absolutely flying, isn't he? Just a quick. I mean, I know we've got some pit stops to come for obviously the Matthew boys yet, but just a quick check on the championship. If it were to finish as it was, Matthew would have a 90-point gap, so it would be enough currently to secure them the constructors' title.
Yes, so they'll be very pleased with that, but Ruiz obviously is going to have to pit, and it's looking like minimum he's going to be falling down. Well, just so far.
He'll be praying that Clean and Co don't close up to this pack quick enough, because I mean, if they, all right, Howson's 5 seconds back from Zazoli now. There's a bit of a gap there, but I mean they're losing like 20 seconds in the pits. Ruiz could come out down in. He could be 20th.
Yeah, and that is obviously for a driver that's at the top of the World Championship. The way that would affect the standings as well. Klaus would be right closed up to him with 2 races to go. Simon would be firmly back in the hunt.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think it's 24 points over Klaus and 44 over Simon.
Yeah, so suddenly that would be cut to what, 6 over Klaus and still 19 over Simon, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's within a race win.
Yeah.
That's the sort of crucial number, isn't it?
Simon was at halfway through the season as well.
That's Klaus on his own. Klaus no longer has Bayer in front of him.
Where are you seeing that?
Literally just before we cut to this shot of Zatici now, who is behind Max Meyer. Klaus van Schnauer is all on his own. So he's dispatched somewhere Felix Bayer.
Yeah, is it going to be enough though, is the question, because he's going to have now still plenty of clear air to drive into. Ruiz goes back up the inside then, by the way, of Taylor, so he gets part 1 done. If he can get past Ledesma and get some decent laps in, all might not be lost for the Brazilian here. I think he's just been given the hurry up on the radio saying, look, your championship is under serious threat if you do not make these overtakes.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, it is nose to tail from Ruiz all the way back to... Okay, Zazoli in 10th at the moment. He's got Addison a second and a half back. That will close in no time at all. And then it's a gap between Perez and Cleon at... Cleon? Don't know where that came from. That's 4.5 seconds, but that's being closed pretty rapidly by the Austrian, as Ruiz looked a little bit wide there.
Oh, he's going up the inside, he's sending it, he's going up the inside, he's not... Oh, he's made contact, he's bumped the wall there. Going to try and send it around the outside now. Oh, gets chopped off by Ledesma. Ledesma, some very aggressive driving there. Nearly puts Ruiz into the wall twice.
Absolutely mental here.
Once and yeah, that, I mean, see, this is for me where the fun and games stop on a street circuit, because yeah, sure, if you've got a train behind you and it's impacting the race, that's great for us, but I do draw the line at putting drivers into the wall in a street circuit. I think Ruiz has shown Ledesma that he very much agrees with my statement there. That was an incredibly aggressive move. He was all locked up.
Yeah, but that was absolutely crucial. And look how far away he's scarpered already. And this
goes Zylander on Schneider.
Yeah, great move there from the Belgian. This could be the saviour then of Ruiz's race here. He now has, what, 3 laps to create as much of a gap as possible as he can back to these guys. He's not going to get a pit stop. He's definitely going to come out somewhere in this pack, you'd imagine.
Yeah, sorry, as Perez bumped the wall there. Looks like he just got a little bit squeezed. So again, some of the drivers... So remember how we talked about all this racing is happening really clean earlier without any contact? We're really starting to see the gloves come off now. The drivers are getting a bit het up, a bit hot under the collar. Oh, that's crucial for Ruiz. Did you see that? He's got Mayer.
I was just going to say, I just noticed that on the timing screen. Ahead of Ledesma, only 6 seconds up the road is Mayer, so Ruiz isn't going to have the clear air he needs.
No, and that might just spell the doom that we sort of were just talking about for his race. Unless he can make that pass quickly enough, he's definitely now closed right up to the back. Looking at the timing screens, although I think he might have. No, he's definitely not done it looking at the times. But yeah, so that overtake, while heroic, was kind of for nothing.
Well, unless he can get immediately past Mayer as well.
He has still got nearly an 8-second gap, even despite being behind Mayer. So, Zylander is really
Clean's in the pits again.
Oh, that's odd. Maybe Clean's. Oh, do you know what? That might be damage from hitting the wall. Oh, no, it's Perez that hit the wall. Well, hopefully we'll get a replay of why Clean's in the pits. He might be retiring. Looks like a front wing change. So yeah, we'll see what happened there.
He'll be hoping he. And there we go. So this is a replay with Stefan Klein then. Oh, he lunged his teammate. Yeah, clip the wall on the inside.
Never a good look. Yeah.
And this is Ruiz on Ledesma.
He did the same thing. Very lucky. So
he was
wasn't
exceptionally.
Take that back. Ledesma didn't squeeze him to the wall there. Did squeeze him a bit on exit, but that's kind of just the racing line.
Zylander's passed Taylor.
Yeah, we watched it happen.
Did we? My bad. No, Taylor's got it back. Oh, someone's blown up in the background.
That's me.
There was a fire. That is Shikumi Takahashi. Yeah, and that's that's going to cause chaos.
Hopefully they clear that. Well, hopefully they get him out nice and quick first.
That's right. I think they've all got round him now, and I think there's space there now. It was just because I think that was the Ocelot of Giordano got stuck on the side of the car, but thankfully it looks as though they have cleared. Hopefully they get that fire out is going to be the interesting thing. As this is race leader Adrian Simon coming up to that same scene, and yeah, they've already shifted Takahashi's car then to the Marshals. Absolutely on it.
Yeah, top stuff from the Marshals here. Obviously, we've never had Formula Virtual here before, but they have obviously had plenty of other series, and they know what they're doing. So hats off to those folks. As always, it's always, we couldn't go racing without them. So
I'll tell you what, Ruiz is massively pushing Mayer on here, isn't he? They're now 11.5 seconds clear of Will Taylor. This might not be all lost for Ruiz.
Yeah, if he can pass Mayer as well, he might actually find himself able to pull out. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Who's losing time? That is Schneider.
Oh no!
That's a shame. He's dropping down the order, but I don't think he's out. Oh, he definitely is. Yep. I don't think he's out. DNF immediately pops up. Oh, okay, thank you. So, I wonder what happened there. Hopefully we'll get a replay. But yeah, so Schneider out of this V-Prix. That's a shame. He's had a really, really strong weekend. And he was looking on for some decent points, so really gutting there for the I was about to say for the Finn. He is Finn. For the Schneider? For the Swiss.
Really gutting there for Finn?
Yeah, for Finn the Swiss.
Oh, Ruiz pits!
Yeah, so he's
Ruiz pits. Yeah, he doesn't keep going. I wonder if they've tried to get him out from behind Mayer. Are they trying to jump this queue? Have they established he's just got enough?
They've got it wrong. They've got it all wrong.
Oh
no, that is their days. That's Ruiz. I thought it was Simon. I was like, how did he drop that far back?
Yeah, no, that's Ruiz.
Ruiz.
Wow, straight back past one of the Westwoods.
Yeah, we used to be engine partners. It's definitely intentional and not pace my car.
I mean, to be fair,
immediate give it a 10.
Yeah, so this is on board with Finn Schneider then.
Just lost drive.
Oh yeah, that's got to be an engine, hasn't it? Really.
He's done well to get that as out of the way as he can. I'll be honest.
He has. As now Simon dives into the pits.
Simon,
then.
Yeah.
Klaas van Snelheid is surely going to take the lead back here, but I mean he's going to have Simon behind him on very fresh, very new, very quick soft tyres. That doesn't feel like a competition.
No, it feels a bit more like a gentle spanking, if you will.
Gentle?
With all this, though, he's lifted himself up to 4th place. If he can make a move on Ledesma, this is going to be huge for the Belgian.
Yeah, it could be.
And do you know what? With all of this as well, with North Star not looking in the points, I mean, I don't want to put commentator's curse, so I'm touching wood.
No, not that wood.
But I'm pretty sure they're only 10 points behind North Star.
Yeah, 18 plays 8, I think.
Yikes. I mean, North Star won't be at risk of P1 for, well, this season, pre-qualifying, so for this season or next season. Ruiz goes up the side of Vasquez there.
Look at the grip he's got!
Yeah, that is just like he's driving a different Formula car there. It's like he's driving.
Simon's already caught Clark.
Oh no. Yeah, I think those hards are just a little too worn out at this point to put on any kind of defense.
This is
but we'll see.
This is going to be, you'd imagine, fairly straightforward.
Here we go then.
On board with the Frenchman. He's going to toy with him, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, Klaas has lived it once. He's only got to survive that another 12 times.
yeah, that's going to be a lot easier said than done. To be fair, it's not just turn 1 that they've identified as an overtaking position now.
True. But he's got to be careful. He could throw this all away, because if he now has to pit for a front wing, that's probably going to be the race.
Well, you say that, but they've got 27 seconds back to Zetici. It's a 20-second normal pit stop. I reckon either of these could pit for a new front wing and probably still come out P2.
That is true.
If not, at least P3, because they've got nearly a minute back to Zylander.
They are nearly, however, though, soon they're going to be coming up on that not lap traffic, well, it will be lap traffic. The likes of Clear, Alvarez, Kinnaman. How's Kinnaman got behind Alvarez and Kinnaman?
Are they not going to be ahead of Kinnaman and co already? Surely the next car they'll catch will be Halverson, looking at the time.
They're inside that 42-second gap that Bayer has.
Okay.
Where's... We'll see. I think they might still have those guys to clear, but actually they might. It's all very confusing. It's hard to track when you don't.
Well, so Zylander is exactly a minute off the lead.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, the lap is longer than a minute 15. So yeah, you're right. The next car they have to catch will be clear.
Actually, don't hurt my head with it. I was like, do you know what? Some secrets better left unsaid. Here we go then. Simon is just piling the pressure on right now. I think he's just bringing his tyres in. Basically just trying to size up the move, because he knows he's got fresher, softer tyres, and he has been looking quicker, obviously all race, but I suppose Klaas is not looking pole. Anyway, he's probably just sizing up the move, trying to find out his best spot to make it, because obviously every driver's going to have the spot where they think that where they are going to be weakest. He doesn't need to rush this move as things stand, because we've got that is Vasquez into the pits. Oh yeah, they went.
Oh, softs.
Later
yeah.
Anyway. Ruiz up the inside of Taylor, not quite happening there.
I tell you what, Ruiz is recovering this pretty well, isn't he? He's already 6th, and he's only got Taylor and Zylander in front of him now, and he's got much better tyres.
It was all doom and gloom earlier, and I think I'm going to owe an apology for that, because he's really rocketed through the field. But then, I think I was saying to you earlier that the softer tyres coming back to the traffic could be a huge benefit compared to the hards. Absolutely, but I do think he'd have struggled way more had he been at the back of that train, had he not got those crucial moves on Ledesma. That crucial move on Ledesma that he managed. Yeah, naturally, absolutely. I think you're absolutely He's done Taylor. He's 5th already. But yeah, that's the thing. He's already made up. I mean, he pitted 4 or 5 laps ago. He's pretty much almost averaged an overtake a lap. That's an insane rate of overtaking. Just incredible stuff. And he's definitely rescued his race this year. But here they are. See, what did I say? Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a disaster. As it stands, I mean, okay, we've got 10 laps to go, and we've seen chaos so far here in Detroit. Anything could happen. But as it stands, it looks like Klaas and Simon will probably take a good chunk of points out of Ruiz. However,
that move on Ledesma at such a crucial time when his tyres...
Islander there, by the way, just to cut in.
Oh yeah, there we go. So Ruiz back up to 4th now. And I mean, surely he's still got... Actually, it will be Ledesma in front of him again, won't it now?
Oh, dearie me.
So he's still got Ledesma to clear, but then he's just got free air. By making that move earlier, when his soft tyres were really wearing, there'd have been not much, not much left on them. But he got that done.
Well, we saw him all the way locked up, making an overtake.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to hurt these guys. Oh, there's only a smaller train. It's not a big... oh, this is the Kinnaman train.
But
right.
By getting that move done, he's absolutely saved his road. He's more than likely seemingly going to lose points here. I'd argue this has been a champion's drive from Ruiz to recover this.
I think just the recovery part in isolation could probably agree with that, definitely. But I think sort of the whole drive itself, not so much. But I think absolutely in terms of the recovery, yeah, it's been absolutely spectacular. But it's important to note that he did put himself there in the first place. He gave himself a lot to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact that he's been able to bounce back, that is the mark of a champion.
Oh, as we got some movement in the back, Kanga makes a move for 6th. Yes, yeah, like I say, as I said to you, the recovery itself is without a doubt like a spectacular drive, an amazing thing to be able to do, and not many drivers on this grid, I think you're right, would be able to pull it off.
He's cleared Ledesma. But sorry, I've just noticed there's 7 seconds between him and Zylander, so he's through. Ruiz is clear.
Yeah, he's just gone. He said thank you very much. I'm out of here. What's interesting now, though, is that because the leaders and also Zatichi eventually is going to get stuck in this lap of traffic.
I don't know if Zatichi's going to catch them. He doesn't seem to be closing that gap particularly quickly.
Yeah, I'll admit, despite them being in a train, this train is not moving quite as slowly as the Meteor trains, is it?
No, but then, to be fair, what is it? It's the train clearing Addison Kinnaman.
Yeah, so it's only really just become a train.
Yeah. It's a very small train. It's only got 3 carriages.
Baby train. Call it the Thomas the Tank.
Is that like Baby Shark?
No, please don't. I hate that so much.
Yeah, no, likewise. Well, I mean, you'd hope so at this point. He's got to be the only driver in clear air.
I don't know. I think Barclay's about to have stuff. He makes a late pit stop.
Oh yeah, that'll be his second stop on the soft tyres. Some 6 laps after the others.
He's just been lapped by his teammate. Oh, that's a bad look. That is a... Barclay obviously confirmed in the time between last race and this race to be leaving the Westwood, to not be racing for the Westwood team in 2023, and I think we're being shown a bit of a demonstration as to why. A bit harsh, really, of him to be axed immediately after his home race as well. But,
I mean, just a bit. God, the person running that team must be really cruel.
Yeah, absolute monster. I've heard he just violently assaults people for fun.
Ow!
Nah. Bradley doesn't run my team.
I was just going to say, I initially mentioned that Zatichi wasn't taking much time. Since I've said that about a lap ago, he's close 5 seconds on the leaders. So, yeah, Kinnaman is now pretty slow.
Yeah, he sort of decided to back off. He was like, you know what, I want to just ease this to the finish. This 17th place is really crucial for the team. Barclay's caught up to the back of this now. That's a train. That is essentially one giant Western sandwich with about 86 layers of filling.
That just feels wrong. Just going to point this out while we've got it in the running order it's in. With Downton first and third and Mathershaw second and fourth, it is not currently enough for Mathershaw to take the title here.
No, it was. Oh God, that was close. Oh, And there's some damage. That is Kid losing a front wing end plate there. So Kid, who sorry to like kind of change the topic, wasn't even. Oh, he's not happy with that one. Jeez Louise, yeah, no, that was. In fact, he's missing 2 front wing end plates. He's missing both end plates, Bradley.
I mean, that's. Do you know what? I think it'll keep going. It'd be silly to pit at this point.
Actually, do you know what? There's a lot of damaged front wings there. You've got a missing end plate on Ryan, 2 missing end plates on Kid, a missing end plate on, I think that was Kanga.
I mean, in fairness, did we expect anything else?
Ooh, he's made the move.
Oh, he has.
Wait. Yeah, he's made a stick.
Yeah, we've missed that one then.
The V-Prix.
Adrian Simon is through and into the lead ahead of Klaas van Snelheid. They're still behind Stefan Klein, but crucially, he's overtaken the one car that he needs to gain points.
And also, I think as it stands now, we pivot back to a Mathershaw claiming the title today.
We do. This gives them a 92-point advantage as it stands. Then they need 86. So Mathershaw are back in championship position.
That is crazy stuff. That one position, that's a 16-point swing fundamentally. That's insane. Yeah, no, obviously Simon, he's not out of the woods yet. As you said, he's still going to make these overtakes on the back markers, and he's not done that yet. Oh, mind you, Clear goes for an overtake on, oh yeah, not quite on, but he's looking to have a go at, he is Clear, looking to have a go at Addison. But yeah, interesting how we've seen quite a lot of front wing damage then that we didn't sort of notice previously, but looks like, yeah, where we've seen the race, some of the guys getting quite scrappy now. Oh, they're about to, oh, Bradley, they're about to catch this ginormous train. Yeah,
Kinnaman's only, well, to be fair, it's 5 seconds back. He's not closing that down particularly quickly.
No. He's got, what, 4 seconds and 5 laps to do.
I think Zylander's done Ledesma. Sorry, just looking back towards the front, Zylander is now 11 seconds clear of Alok Kanga.
Oh, wow.
So I think Zylander is through. And that is surely going to pretty much guarantee a 5th place finish there for him.
Yeah, and I think obviously, again, touch wood, if he can hang on to that, that is also huge for Highwind, because that lifts them back past North Star, because obviously they have the higher finishes over the English, British, I was about to say British team, but obviously Highwind are Irish and is Irish, British. What? North Star are Scottish?
North Star are Scottish.
Well, they have the same flag as everyone else.
Yeah, because it's the United Kingdom. Or Great Britain. I get confused as to the exact.
I don't think I want to get into the politics of Britain and United Kingdom today.
Oh, to be fair, there's too much racing going on.
Yeah, true.
We've got a yellow flag. I think that's Matson.
That is Matson decides he's had enough. I think his brakes are on fire, Bradley.
Let's have a look.
Like
he's definitely gone in. Yeah.
So his brakes have just. So this is another thing that I'm surprised we've not seen more of. But I suppose I'll touch on it now.
There's 4 laps to go. Yeah, I wouldn't rule anything out.
Yeah, but like there's such a. So the point is there's such a lack of clear air that these cars, they're designed to cool just as much as they need to. They're always run about. See, look at that. Those brakes are glowing even between the turns for Simon. So all this clear air means that they're not going to be cooling down any of their components nearly as much. And we've seen one of the victims of that. That obviously could have been the case for Takahashi as well, for Schneider. So the teams now running in these trains, a lot of their temperatures could go up to critical, and that could lead to some disastrous retirements late on. Yeah,
it absolutely could. Matteo Zatici now only 7 seconds back from the leading duo. I think he might, if they don't clear the back markers in front of them, which they don't seem likely to do. If anything, they're going to encounter more back markers before they get closer to the ones, past the ones directly in front of them. I think Zatici will be with them at the end of this race.
Yeah, looking like it. What's going to be interesting is though, do you remember in Adelaide the race was decided on the last lap? Because
second was. Powers lunged Ruiz for second on the last lap, but Klaas was clear. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for the win. Yeah, so we could see a similar result here. If Simon's not able to put a car between himself and Klaas, this whole time he remains under threat from behind.
Absolutely.
I know Klaas is on slower, older tyres, but you know, when there's a championship to fight for, you do what you can.
Yeah, it'd be silly not to try a move somewhere. It's now 5 seconds back to Zatici. Zatici is going to be with them, but crucially, I think for Klaas van Schnelhoyd, he's going to have Jules Barkley in between himself and his teammate.
He is as well. And don't forget, Jules Barkley might be in a slower car, but he's on the freshest, softest tyres.
Oh! Simon's hit the wall!
He's lost an end plate there. I think he's alright with his whole front wing, but that's just made his life a whole lot harder.
Absolutely has. Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, if Kid's continuing with pretty much none of his front wing left, Simon's absolutely going to carry on.
That is true, that is true. And he's still got the turning vane, I think, on the outside, because obviously that is a separate component to the end plate itself.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be losing too much in the way of drag, but that will be affecting downforce slightly. So
it's not really going to cost him lap time, is it? Because he's stuck behind Clean. As we see Zientek and Ryan there going side by side. Now, I know some Giordano going past Zientek.
Yeah. So still scrapping away at the back of the field here. As you,
Kanga's 21 seconds behind Zylander now. Oh, I think Perez has just done Taylor.
Perez with a. To be fair, Perez has had a really good weekend. Obviously, I think he struggled a bit in the last few races, and he's really bounced back nicely here. He's looking good.
Perez has perennially been at the front of this train, but not done anything with it.
Yeah, I'll admit. I suppose if we're looking at that side of things, a driver that's really impressed me does have to be Zylander, the way he's really salvaged something from nothing here. Because he started 10th. He's had to work his way up this train. Oh! Simon!
No!
Simon's going up! No!
Adrian Simon retires from the lead of the United States V-Prix here in Detroit. And that's a disaster. Simon then, who's got 2 races, after this 2 races to go in his Formula Virtual career, has just seen his chance of a final title go up in flames.
But what did I say? They run marginal on this cooling, and they've clearly just not been careful enough with it. That is disaster. That is heartbreaking. I think it was so nice to hang on to that comeback story. Simon's had such an amazing end to the season, closing half the season. And it kind of just feels like it's all going to be for naught now, really.
That's such a shame for him.
Yeah. I think he would be most people's fan favourite of the current 3 that are in the fight still. Well, not anymore apparently, but yeah, that is.
Klaas and Ruiz have to make it to the end yet.
Oh, Kanga has made.
Oh yeah, he's finally clear.
Yeah.
Hallelujah! It's only taken him 55 laps.
Right, 1 lap, half a minute to get up to Zylander. Can he do it?
No.
I'll tell you what though, if Ruiz or one of the Daltons goes bang, we could see Zylander on the podium.
I mean, as I said a couple of laps ago, I wouldn't rule anything out at this point. I mean, hang on, we've pretty much got the entire field in a line here now, haven't we?
Yes, a bit out of sync, a bit out of order, but...
Oh yeah, completely out of order.
Yeah, Klaas is currently in the midst of the battle for 17th place.
But he is about to start the final lap.
That's what you think.
No, he has started the final lap.
Titi's only a couple of cars back, sorry. Oh, we got Kid there up the inside of Cesalia. Oh, that was an aggressive defence from Cesalia.
Was a bit, wasn't it? I mean, to be fair, I suppose Kid doesn't really have any front wing left for Cesalia to chop off anymore. But
true. That's do you know what's such a shame for this as well is that Kid having lifted himself up into 10th, or that might have been due to Simon actually. But Kid being up in 10th would have been enough to prevent Iwin from going back past them with that 1 point there, but obviously Zylander has also moved up, so... Oh, we've got a move from Addison there, up the inside of Halverson, okay.
Yeah, Addison, and Zylander will gain more points from that, because he'll have gained 2 going from 5th to 4th, whereas Kid's only gained 1.
Yes, exactly.
So if anything, that makes it worse for North Star, which pretty much sums up their season, really.
Yeah, I mean, their car's not really been slow this season. It's just always been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Never able to, and obviously with only one driver extracting the most. But we'll talk about them another day because this is the man of the hour for today's race. Didn't look like it, but I'll let
no,
you take it away.
And he's not going to like a win like this, but I'm sure he'll take it, especially with big points back to Ruiz. He's rather inherited this victory, but round the chicane for the final time, Klaas van Snelheid then will cross the line to win in the United States and slash Ruiz's championship lead down to, I think, 14 points. And it is now just those two. Zatici follows him home in second. Zatici's done exceptionally well there to close that gap back down.
Oh yeah, massively so. Obviously the traffic really helping him get back up, but also just the pace he was putting in, the lap times he was putting in.
Zylander's caught Ruiz! Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to have any time to do anything with it.
No,
that's an exceptional effort from the Belgian.
Now. Fantastic drive. I mean, showing exactly why he's been picked up by Peugeot for next season without a shadow of a doubt today.
Absolutely.
Amazing drive from him, from Ruiz as well, to make that comeback, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Ruiz then across the line and does salvage a third place at one point in this race. It looked as though he'd be lucky to even score points. So although it won't be what he wanted, I'm sure Ruiz will be very, very relieved with that. Obviously, with Simon's devastating late retirement, it means Mathishaw don't claim the constructors here today, but they are still very much in the driving seat for that one. Zylander takes I think a joint career best and a best ever finish for Highwind in fourth place. Kanga across the line in fifth, and then Perez is going to be leading the train that is, well no sorry, he's still behind Ledesma. Ledesma's going to lead the train as everyone else, but he won't score points. It's yeah, a bit mental there at the end, but it's Klaas van Snelheid who returns to the pits to start the celebrations and the podium. Here come the drivers out onto the podium then. In third place for Coca-Cola Porsche Team Mathishaw, marking his 11th podium appearance of the season, Enrique Ruiz. In second place then, for the first time ever in his Formula Virtual career, for the Downton FB team, it's Matteo Zatici. And onto the top step then, also for the Downton FB team, with his third win of the season and taking back-to-back victories for the first time since early 2019, Klaas van Snelheid. And in his honour, the Dutch national anthem. So there we have it then, a heartbreaking late retirement hands the victory to Klaas van Snelheid, with teammate Zatici backing him up in second for a Downton 1-2. Ruiz inherits the final podium position in third, coupled with fast lap ahead of an exceptional fourth place for Thierry Zylander. Strong points finishes for Alar Kanga and Felix Perez, with Rock Kid claiming a sole point in his home race in that train that spanned from 6th all the way back to Kinnaman in 17th. Despite being arguably the biggest feature in today's race, it's only second last for Gianni Ledesma, ahead of those unfortunate retirements who likely lost big points today, including Simon and Finn Schneider, who went out early on with an engine failure. That has repercussions in the Drivers' Championship then, because it means that Simon is out of the game and we are down to just two contenders. 14 points now split Ruiz and Klaas van Snelheid with just 2 races to go. Thierry Zylander has gained 5 places in the midfield, going up to 14th position. Very little movement elsewhere, apart from people slipping back. Daniel Zientek has moved ahead then of Jules Barkley up into 23rd, but is still awaiting that crucial first point of his career. In the Constructors, Mathishaw have lost some of their advantage to Downton, but still remain in a very, very strong position. As long as they are not outscored by 17 or more points next time out, they will take their third title. Further back, AMR have retaken 8th from Arrow, and Highwind have dumped North Star back outside of the top 10. But that's all from our race here today in the US. So from both me and Harry, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for round 15
from Sao Paulo, Brazil.